If you've just signed up for a Helcim account, one of the first things you should learn about is how to set up your deposits. This is so you can get paid for the transactions you process through Helcim. So in this video, I'm going to teach you 5 essential things you need to know to ensure that the money you're earning from your sales ends up in your bank account. I'll cover the journey that money takes from the point of sale all the way to your bank, how to connect your bank account to Helcim and receive that money, what to expect for your first deposit, how to view your deposit history, and how to configure your settlements going forward. The first essential thing you should know is the basics of batches and settlements. Now, batches and settlements are both key terms as part of the deposit process. If you're already familiar with how they work, feel free to skip ahead. But if you're new to using a payment processor, knowing these fundamental concepts will make everything else in this video a lot easier to understand. When your business makes a bunch of sales in a day, these transactions are grouped together into a batch. Think of this as a basket that holds all the money you've collected for providing your goods and services. Now, at some point in the day, you'll close the batch. Think of putting a lid on the basket so you can count how much money you have. Now, imagine you want this money to go into your vault, in other words, your bank account. But the only way to get it there is to use a courier service. As the payment processor, we are that courier. Yes, our job is to facilitate the movement of this money from your customer's bank to your account. This process is called settlement, kind of like settling the bill at the end of a meal. Now, in order for us to know where to put this, we need to know where your vault is located. Just like a courier service needs an address to know where to deliver a package, we would need the details of your bank account to make a deposit. So this is where our second essential piece of knowledge comes in, how to link a bank account. Linking a bank account is surprisingly easy at Helcim. All you need is access to your Helcim merchant account. So feel free to follow along here, either on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. First, let's start by heading to helcim.com and logging in using your email and password. If you've recently signed up with us, the first thing you'll see is a step-by-step setup guide. One of the options will be to link a bank account. Click into that option to go directly to the banking section, and then hit the Link Bank Account button. You'll see 2 choices for linking an account here, either through Instant Link or uploading a void check. The faster of the two is, you guessed it, Instant Link. That's because Instant Link uses Plaid. Now, we're not talking about the style of shirt here. Plaid is a third-party service that creates a secure bridge between Helcim and your bank of choice. To use Instant Link, hit Link Bank Account again. Take a look at Plaid's privacy policy and then hit Agree. Now here, you can enter your phone number to create an account with Plaid. You'll receive a 6-digit code through text that you can use to verify yourself. If you don't want to create an account, select Continue as Guest. Find your bank from one of the pictured tiles, or look for it using the search bar. Sign into your online banking like you normally would using your credentials. And once you're in, you can select a specific account to link. Just like that, we have a linked account. Now, if for some reason you aren't able to access your online bank through Plaid, you can always choose the other option, which is to upload a void check. For this option, you'll need a void check, direct deposit form, or letter from your bank that has your account information on it. This can either be an image file, JPEGs or PNGs will do fine, or a PDF. Hit Browse to upload your file or drag it into the box. If the upload is successful, you'll see a message saying that your document is being reviewed. Behind the scenes, our team will review the document within 1 to 2 business days. When the review is done and the account is linked, you'll see an update on your Helcim dashboard. Now that your account's been linked, you're pretty much set to receive your first deposit. But you might be wondering, how long before I see that first deposit show up? This brings us to our third essential thing, what to expect for your first deposit. Let's say you've closed and settled a batch after a day of sales. Because the money's changing hands between banks, the settlement process isn't instant. With Helcim, credit card batches typically take 1 to 2 business days to process. Batches for ACH payments, in other words, bank-to-bank transfers, typically take 4 to 5 business days to process. Now these are business days and not calendar days. If you close a batch on a Thursday evening after hours, there's a good chance that you won't get the deposit until the following week. Now there's also a caveat for your first few batches. When you first start processing with us, we devote some extra time to review your batches. This is our way to understand your processing habits better, so we know what kind of activity to expect from your account. Here's another analogy for you. Imagine we're sharing an apartment and we've just moved in together. As a good roommate, I'm going to be keeping an eye on things like when you come and go, when you use the kitchen, and when you turn in for the night, so I can plan my routines around you. For this reason, the first few batches for any merchant we onboard take a few days longer to deposit. Think 3 business days for credit cards or 7 business days for ACH payments. The good news is doing this extra review up front lowers the chance that we have to delay any of your future deposits. So we think it's better to do this early on, so we don't have to bug you later when you already have momentum processing with us. Now this is rare, but if something comes up during this review, we might send you an email to request some further documentation. The faster you respond to this email, the better, so that our team can get your deposits up and running as soon as possible. While you're waiting for your deposit to come through, I'd like to show you how you can check its status in your Helcim account. This brings us to our 4th essential thing, which is how to view your deposit history. Let's head back to your Helcim account. There's 2 sections for you to know here. The first is the Payments tool. In here, you'll see an option to view your credit card batches, as well as your ACH batches. You'll see your open and settled batches separated by color. Let's click into one of the batches. If you look closely, you'll see a deposit amount tile here. If it says pending, it means the deposit is still processing. Once the deposit is complete, this tile will update to show the deposit amount and date. Now, if you click on this tile, you'll end up in the Bank Deposits tool. This is where you'll see a history of your deposits, including their amounts, the date they were sent, and the fees associated with them. Just by knowing where these 2 sections are, you can easily keep tabs on the flow of money from your terminals to your bank account. Now, there's one more essential thing that I want to teach you, and that's how to configure your settlements. With Helcim, settlements are set to happen automatically by default at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time every day. Now, if you don't operate in this time zone, I can show you how you can adjust this. Let's go back to the Payments tool. Select Terminals. Click on a specific terminal to adjust, and then hit the Edit button. Under Batch Settlement, you can choose a new time from the dropdown, and then hit Save. Now, you'll notice that there's an option here to turn off auto settlements. You can do this if you want to manually settle your batches. To manually settle a batch, let's back out of the terminal page. Select credit card batches or ACH bank batches from the menu. Find an open batch you want to settle manually. Hit the 3 dots and then click Settle. Wow, we actually covered quite a bit here. So let's do a recap. We learned that batches and settlements can be represented by grouping money in baskets and delivering them to your vault. We learned how to link your bank account using Instant Link or uploading a void check. We learned that your first few deposits take a bit longer because we spend time learning your habits. We learned how to monitor your batches and deposits through the Payments and Bank Deposits tools in your account. And finally, we learned that you have the flexibility to change your settlement times on each of your terminals, or even bypass the auto settlement feature entirely. I hope you found this overview of deposits with Helcim helpful. If you want more in-depth knowledge on deposits, head to learn.helcim.com or subscribe to this channel for more learning content like this in the future. Bye for now.